Welcome to Holstein Connections, where we share the latest stories, insights, and news from Holstein Association USA and beyond. The largest dairy cattle breed association in the world, Holstein Association USA provides leadership, information, and services to help dairy producers worldwide be successful. Whether you're in the barn, on the road, or just tuning in for your dose of dairy news, we're glad you're here. This is Holstein Connections. Hello, Holstein enthusiasts. I'm your host, Emily Bosch, and joining me today is Tim Ziemba, Holstein Marketplace Sires Manager here at Holstein Association USA. Tim, welcome to the podcast.
I'm excited to be on today.
To start off, Tim, why don't you give us an overview of the Holstein Marketplace Sires program? When and why was it created?
Yeah, I think that's a great place to start. The Marketplace Sires program started back in 2019. The real reason it started was there was this desire from membership to create something new to avoid the restrictive contracts that we were starting to see the larger AAI organizations develop. Some members came to us and wanted us to do something about it, and we thought this was a great outlet to start a program that had allowed our members to market bulls that didn't have restrictive contracts.
So Holstein Marketplace Sires gets started. What were some of the original goals of the program?
So I think the original goals were basically to avoid those contracts, but then it quickly morphed into what I would say is more marketing opportunities in general for our breeders, not just dealing with those high TBI bulls with restrictive contracts. We kind of opened the program up to bulls that allowed our members to sell their genetics across the country and eventually the world.
So that leads perfectly into my next question, Tim, which is who can be involved in the Holstein Marketplace Sires program?
That's a great question, a question I get asked quite often. So we have a team of people at Holstein Association that are on the Marketplace Sires team. So we do entertain any one of our members who wants to bring a bull into the program, but then the team then selects those bulls that we think are the best fit for the program. And the priority selection criteria for me is always marketability. Is this bull going to be successful in the program? Are we going to be able to market this bull? Will the owner of this bull make money having the bull in the program? And we also look to see if it's a good fit for the program. If we have, a need for this specific type of bull, we're always looking to fill markets and diversity across our program. So that's kind of another thing that we look at as well. We don't always want multiple bulls with similar marketing strategies.
Yes, that makes sense. Tim, since the program was launched in 2019, do you know how many different bulls or how many different owners have been involved in the program?
So we just coded our 36th bull, and that puts us with about 36 bulls, around 33 different owners.
Wow. So, Tim, how has the program grown and evolved over the years?
Yeah, so I'd say the first thing is it's just grown in general. We started off with 4 or 5 bulls in the program. Charisma might be the most known bull, and he was bull number 5 in the program. And now we're up to 36 with our NAB codes. So we've grown the program by adding bulls. We've gone from an active lineup where we traditionally held 5 to 6 bulls, and now we're in the 20 bull range. So we're trying to just grow the program to meet more markets, meet more needs of our owners. We've also tried to diversify that lineup so we have that kind of bull that everyone's looking for, whether you focus on type, whether you focus on production, if you're into red bull, we try to have that bull that you could use in your program. And then finally, I'll say in the last year and a half, we've really focused on opening up our markets, trying to export semen. We've been pretty successful in working into multiple different foreign markets as we try to grow the program.
So how would you describe the lineup or diversity of bulls in the program right now that we offer?
So I do think right now we've kind of hit every key button that we're looking for. I always call the different buckets that you market in. And the last bull number 36, his name is Picasso. either red and white bull that's a high GTPI red and white bull, which is the first bull with a high GTPI that's red that we brought into the program. So I think that closes out kind of those different markets that we're all looking for. We've got cold red, high type, high show type. That keyword, the crossover bull, we've added those. So I do believe that we market the full package, as I like to say.
And then you also mentioned getting into some foreign markets. Where are we offering bulls in places outside of the United States? And talk a little bit about how that's developed over the past couple of years, especially.
Yeah, great question. We work with a few different distributors across the world. We work with Holstein Genetics in Canada, Bullseye Genetics in Germany that markets our semen throughout Europe. And then we've done a little bit with Australia and Agrigene there. So we're also now looking into some smaller markets, some less known markets that are looking for genetics as well.
Definitely a cool opportunity for our members and breeders in the program to get their genetics in other parts of the world as well. Our tagline at Holstein Marketplace Sires is bulls offered by breeders for breeders. How does the program help Holstein breeders market high quality genetics from their herd to a broader audience?
Yeah, so I think that, we just talked about export, and so one thing that everyone who is involved in marketing wants to see the furthest they can reach breeders across the country and across the world. So having breeders be able to sell semen and see daughters of their genetics in foreign countries or be registered in a foreign country is just a great thing. And the other thing is the reach of our Holstein representatives that help market our semen domestically. We have representatives all across the country, so we're able to reach pretty much every geographical area in the United States. So breeders who put bulls in our program aren't just focused on one area of the country and selling their semen. We literally sell to almost all of the inland states in the United States.
Right, we can really help their genetics reach any corner of the country. So what type of feedback have you heard from these breeders who have used Holstein Marketplace Sires either in their herd or have been a part of the program, having a bull in the program?
Yeah, so the most exciting feedback we always get is daughters. Any breeders used our semen, they'll like to tell you about the daughters they've either when they're born as calves or how they're developing in the hutches. I'll get snapshots from people's cell phones of us. We've got an aftermath daughter in the hutch we really like. And then now we're starting to see a lot more milking daughters in our herds, and that's super exciting. And that's, I think, the feedback we're getting from our members. And then the other thing, the common question I always get, what's next? What's the new bull coming? What new bull do we have that's exciting? What am I excited about? So that's kind of the typical feedback we're getting from our members. Just kind of excitement about daughters, and then just the lineup of the program and where we're headed.
It's always a fun surprise when we see those daughter photos come through on the Holstein Marketplace Sires Facebook page. So, Tim, who are some of the bulls that have really put the program on the map?
Yeah, so I think I mentioned Charisma before, is the fifth bull to enter the program. Charisma's the first bull in the program to get a proven genomic profile. He has a daughter adjusted score average over 85 points. I think the most exciting thing we had early on in the program was milking Charisma daughter standing at the top 5 at World Dairy Expo. I remember being told about Charisma daughter being at Expo. We were all excited. Hey, we've got a daughter of a bull at the greatest show on earth. And not only she was there, she participated and stood in the top 5. So Charisma kind of will always hold a special place at Marketplace Sires as being that first bull to kind of break through the popularity. I think everyone knows that Charisma came from Marketplace Sires. And then more recently, I would say that Tango is a bull that obviously everyone knows. When I started here at Marketplace Sires, the first call I made was to Lucas Mosier at Golden Oaks Holsteins. We knew about Tango being available, and we wanted to bring him in. We knew there was a need in the red show world for something new, something different, and that bull came out really fast, a lot of popularity, really, I would say, reinvented the program and brought more excitement into the program. And now we're seeing that with the success of the daughters of Tango. We're super excited to see heifers winning shows and all across the country. It's not just in one area. We're starting to see them pop up all over. Just yesterday, I was looking at results from the Indiana State Fair, and there were the top 5 December calves were 3 of them were tangos, and that's just super fun for me to see. And now we're seeing his daughters come out, and the great thing about Tango is that we'll see how this goes, but his first 12 daughters have all gone very good, scored as very young 2-year-olds. And then finally, the other bull that I would say that really put us on the map was High Caliber. High Caliber kind of went back to the roots of what the program was intended to do, was to break through of those contracts. And there was a period of time that High Caliber was the highest free agent bull available, and he was in the top 5 or 6 bulls GTPI-wise on the charts, and he was being requested for use from everyone for IVF that really focuses on high GTPI. We had quite a few bull studs actually use him in their programs and their IVF, so I would definitely want to throw High Caliber out there as one of the key bulls of the program.
And I think that those 3 examples or bulls that you mentioned, Charisma, Tango, High Caliber, they're all different types of bulls and together represent a full picture of what Holstein Marketplace Sires is about and the different types of bulls that we're offering our members. So currently, Tim, who are some of bulls in the program, or maybe some up-and-coming bulls that are popular or generating a lot of buzz from Holstein breeders at the moment?
Yeah, so 3 of our most popular bulls this year have been Hank, Jitters PP, and Dominion. Hank Aaron was kind of the first pure crossover bull that we brought in. Hank has kind of the full package, as I say. He's a high TPI bull. He's exceptional for type. He's great with milk. It's just a bull with no holes. Typically, if you run kind of your standard search for, everything high, you're always going to have Hank Aaron in that search result. And the other thing great about Hank is he comes from a 92-point lambda from the well-known Doc cow. And so the pedigree's there. He kind of creates the full package. And then he also has a unique AAA number of a 516 has brought a lot of attention to the bull. And then Jitters PP is our first homozygous pole bull, and sometimes I even forget his full package. He's not only a homozygous pole, but he's a red carrier bull, and so he's a high TBI bull. He has really good type numbers to go with a TBI, and he's an extreme milk bull. And so he hits a lot of markets and has been a great addition to our program. And then finally, I mentioned Dominion. Dominion's kind of that balance, the milk and type bull. I would say definitely breeders who focus more on type would be interested in Dominion. And I love Dominion because he comes from an amazing 94-point chief at Etkin Way in Ohio, a cow that was just recently winning the Mid-East Spring Show in Ohio. And a bull that, is a little bit different pedigree-wise than what we've seen in a lot of our type bulls that people are using now. So those are the 3 bulls that I would say early on this year we're really hitting the mark.
Absolutely. And I think something too, Tim, you mentioned is some of the cow families that these bulls come from and the different pedigrees. Talk a little bit about how Holstein Marketplace Sires emphasizes that and kind of what you look for when you're looking to maybe bring a new bull into the program.
Yeah, and that kind of goes back to when we talked about who can bring a bull in, and everyone always kind of says, well, what are you looking for? And we're really looking for, we want the numbers to look right. We always want those numbers that are marketable. But then we're just as important as the pedigrees behind the bulls. And I can say right now, I'm not sure there's a lineup of bulls in the world that can match the pedigrees at Marketplace Sires. The dams, your grand dams, there's so many of them that are household name cows or cows that are scored 94, 95 points all the way through. And then even in some of our higher TPI bulls, Arizona Kevin, a bull from Arizona Dairy, who's a high TPI bull, has an excellent dam. Many times when you see high TPI bulls, you will see dams that are unscored or not scored throughout the pedigree. And here's a bull with an excellent dam that is a bull that can be used in any commercial herd in the country.
Certainly another unique aspect of the program. Before we dive into some of our new releases, a quick break to learn more about what Holstein Association USA has to offer.
It's easier than ever to take advantage of Holstein USA's programs and services and the added value of registered Holsteins with Holstein Complete. A convenient all-in-one package, Holstein Complete bundles Holstein Association USA's core services such as registration, classification, pedigrees, genetic reports, production records, and more. Holstein Complete customers save an average of 20%. With convenient monthly payments and discounts on additional services, Holstein Complete helps you maximize the value of your registered Holsteins. Learn more at holsteinusa.com. Sign up today to complete your herd.
Applications are now open for the 2025 Virtual Interview Contest. This online contest gives youth the opportunity to enhance their resume writing, cover letter development, and interview skills in a supportive real-world setting. Feedback from dairy industry professionals give youth actionable ways to grow. All junior Holstein members ages 12 to 21 are encouraged to participate in the online contest. Resume and cover letters are due October 1st, 2025. Learn more and submit your application at juniorholstein.com.
So now let's talk a little bit about new releases. What can you tell us about the latest bulls that we've added to our lineup?
Yeah, I'm glad you asked because I'm super excited about the last group of bulls we've hit here this summer. Starts off with Mr. Marvel from Espandale Holsteins out in Utah. Mr. Marvel kind of follows a little bit of the line of Hank Aaron, kind of that crossover bull, but then he's also a red carrier bull and a pole bull. So he's a full package bull. He's over 3,000 TPI points. He's a great milk bull with really, really good type and coming from a great family. He's a Hulu out of a Rubles that just went excellent 91 in her second lactation. A cow that we just got some snapshots from out in the field. A cow that really stops you in your track. It's like, wow, this is just a great cow to have a bull from. And then our other bulls that we've brought in is Nails Valley Eyecatcher. Eyecatcher is bred by the Nails in Wisconsin and owned by Red Carpet Holsteins in Illinois. Eyecatcher is what I consider one of our first pure show type bulls in the program. A bull that's not only has the numbers to back up the show type, but the pedigree is maybe the best pedigree we've ever brought into the program. On the top side, he's an eye candy who brings in caught your eye to the top side. And if you know that pedigree and the popularity of that family and what that family's doing right now, it's just a great sire stack to have in a bull. And then on the bottom side, he comes from an 88-point Thunderstorm, and then the great Emoji cow that's 95 points that was intermediate champion at World Dairy Expo, and then follows that great family of Elegance all the way through. And it's just, when you research a pedigree on a bull like that, it's just so fun to do because every one of the daughters of the Elegance through his family just all had tremendous success, whether it be classification, show ring, and then backed up by production. And then finally, I mentioned Picasso a little bit earlier, a high GTPI Red Bull. He's a high Redley son. Actually, that goes back to the Roxy family. And so not only does he have that high TPI, high milk for a Red Bull, he's got a great pedigree that's just nationally known behind him. So we're super excited about all three of these bulls.
Absolutely. We also recently wrapped up the August 2025 genetic evaluations. What were some of the key highlights for Holstein Marketplace Sires after this latest proof run, Tim?
So for proof runs, we're always looking for what might jump up, or to be quite honest with you, we're looking for something that just stays steady. We want all of our bulls to continue on and not have any big dips. So I would say that in general, everything stayed quite steady. There wasn't any major drops and there wasn't any major jumps. I will say that Mr. Marvel, who we just talked about, it's been a great week for him. He went up above the 3,000 TPI mark. He added about 100 pounds of milk, and his type went up a little bit here. So kind of everything working in his direction. plus his dam going excellent 91. It was a really good week for him. Hank Aaron, the bull that I call him pure crossover bull, he kind of, his type jumped up a little bit more, so he's leaning more into the type than he ever was before, and so we're excited about that. And then Bernard, our highest TBI bull, who sits at 33, 32 TBI, he had kind of a rock solid day. He went up in udder composite. I believe he's one of the highest udder composite bulls for bulls over 3,300.
And looking ahead, Tim, what excites you about the future of the program?
So we're always excited to see what comes next. I mean, I think we're just starting to open the doors here at Marketplace Sires to the potential, whether it be where we can market semen domestically here in the U.S. or for export, and then what type of bulls we can bring in. We're always trying to bring success back to our owners, so we're always moving to bring more profitability for them, and then is the most exciting thing for me, and I think this is also extremely exciting for the owners of the bulls, is to see the success of the daughters. And it's not just, I know we hit on Tango a lot, there's daughters of our bulls all over the country, all over the world. As that continues to grow, I think that's just going to excite more people about the program. It's something that I'm looking forward to.
And Tim, what do you think sets Holstein Marketplace Sires apart or makes it a little different?
Yeah, that's a great question, because really the big difference here is our bulls are still owned by our owners. It puts them in control. It puts them in the driver's seat. They determine whether they want to be in the program or not, and how much semen they want to make and how long they want to be. And so the profit goes back to them. Really, the program is set up for our owners and for them to be successful.
And just like you mentioned, I'm sure it is really exciting for them to see the daughter successes and how their genetics are impacting other herds across the country and even across the world as well. Tim, before we wrap up, is there anything else we missed that you would like to add or talk about?
Yeah, there's a couple things that come to mind. I think it's always good for people to know where our bulls are. We work exclusively with Hawkeye breeders in Iowa and in Wisconsin. Actually, almost all of our bulls are in Wisconsin at Hawkeye North. Dan and Kathy Neville do a great job with our bulls. They're second to none, and we really appreciate everything that they do for our program, because without them, we would not be able to do this. And then also to our regional sales rep team. They've taken this on as a new product and service for them to sell, and they've really gone and hit the ground running with this program. They are just as eager and as excited as I am to see what's coming down the line. They're the ones constantly sending me pictures of daughters. It's a lot of pride. They say, I sold somebody this unit of semen that created this really exciting individual, and I think that's something worth noting.
You're absolutely right. It definitely takes a team of people in Holstein Marketplace Sires. Wouldn't be here without some of those people behind the scenes, whether it's our breeders or our regional sales representatives or the team at Hawkeye as well. So, Tim, before we officially wrap up, we're going to ask some 5 fun would you rather questions to get to know you a little bit better. So, Tim, would you rather have an unlimited supply of ice cream or an unlimited supply of fitting supplies for the year?
Well, I think I probably would go to the fitting. I have 2 children that are just getting into the show world, and knowing the cost of fitting supplies, I like ice cream, but ice cream is reasonably affordable. Fitting stuff is not, so if I could get free fitting stuff, that would be great.
That would be pretty sweet. What about a barn cat or farm dog?
That's another funny question. We do actually at my home, we raise 15 to 20 heifers, and now have a growing herd of cats. I have always been kind of a cat person, little known that the Ziemba family, including my older brother and my parents, have always been cat people. So we've also always had dogs as well, but there's always been kind of a fun acceptance of cats on our farms.
I hear your kids are vying for a dog too, so you might have a little bit of both here soon. Okay, Tim, genomic sire or proven sire?
So I don't really have a preference. I will say that I'm always looking ahead. I'm always looking for progress, and so I'm always excited about the next genomic of bull. For bulls that we use on our cows, we always kind of take that mix of looking for the hot new genomic bull, but if that genomic bull might have some daughters out that we could go take a look at, and so we know what they're going to do, I don't mind that as well. And then, bulls that have proven themselves, surely we always have no issue going back and using them as well. So I really don't have a preference there. I do always like to kind of see what's coming next.
You're going to call it a wash on that one. Black and white or red and white Holstein?
I am not going to take a side on that one. I have both. I enjoy both. We do quite a bit with red and white Holsteins. But honestly, that it kind of always goes with what you have that's good enough to go to a show or do something with. And sometimes it's a red and white, sometimes it's a black and white. Again, we'll probably hit a wash on that one as well.
Okay, last question. If you had to pick only one dairy product to enjoy for a year, would it be chocolate milk or cheese?
That might be. I will not be a wash on that one. Cheese for sure.
I probably should have made it harder and picked one specific type of cheese.
Any cheese is good with me.
Perfect. Well, thank you so much for joining us today, Tim.
Thanks for having me.
Thanks for listening to this episode of Holstein Connections. Whether you're in the barn, on the road, or just tuning in for your dose of dairy news, we're glad you're here. Until next time, this is Holstein Connections.